G'day guys. Now, one thing I've noticed from my channel and my content is everyone loves my stories of misfortune, which I don't know why anyone's surprised about these, because my life is really just a series of disasters lurching from one to another, where I somehow end up landing on my feet, much like a large, lazy house cat. I'm going to call this the Great Trish Disaster. So, I used to have a business where we did a lot of outsourcing of services. We had about 36 staff in the Philippines. They all worked from home, worked really, really well. So we had a main VA who, for the sake of this video, I'm going to call Trish. She was with us for probably like 3 or nearly 4 years. Really good, kept everyone organized, did all the general admin in our business. Now, we paid her, let's just pick an arbitrary number. Let's say we paid her $10 an hour. So she was going along really well, like the backbone of our business. And then one day she just disappeared for a couple of days. So the whole thing kind of fell to pieces. We were scrambling to get it together. If you have a single staff member who your business depends on completely, you have a huge strategic weakness. We had that in this business, and it taught us a lesson actually to systemize better, so we weren't completely reliant on one random person we'd met once in another country. She disappeared for a couple of days. And then she reappeared and we were like, Trish, what's going on? She was like, oh, sorry, I just had a family emergency, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm not sure what happened. I'm sorry, next time. So we said, okay, no worries. Like, we understand it happens. Then it happened again, like about 6 months later. Disappeared, came back a few days later. This time we were better prepared. So we were sort of less about it, but nonetheless annoyed. And again, she's like, sorry, I had a family emergency. My kid was really sick. I had to go to hospital in this different city. I didn't have my laptop, and we're like, yeah, like we understand, that's fine. If you have to take family time off, we won't bother you, but like at least message us. We've all got Messenger on our phone. Then she messaged us and was like, oh, my laptop has broken. I need money for another laptop. Can I have an advance on my pay for another laptop? So she's been with us like 3 or something years at this point. So we were just like, look, how much is the laptop? She's like, $500. We're like, look, don't worry about it. We'll send you $500. Just get another laptop from us as like a thanks. Then she was located in an area of the Philippines called Mawari, called Mawari, which had a kind of like a mini civil war going on. And she messaged us one day and she's like, oh, she emailed us and she's like, guys, my house has been blown up in the civil war. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm working from like a house like my family's house in another city. My house has been destroyed. And we're like, oh, well, that's terrible. Like, so we donated like a bunch of money to her to help her rebuild her house. We're really happy about that. She sent us a photo of like a destroyed house, pretty good evidence. And we carried on again. Then one day out of the blue, this woman messaged us and goes, hi guys. She's like, I know you've got a virtual assistant called Trish, but she's actually been outsourcing your outsourcing to me for the last 2 years. So I've been the one saying I'm that person, doing all this stuff. Trish has like threatened me and my family if I tell anyone, and she's withholding my pay. She hasn't paid me in weeks. I thought I'd tell you guys. So we're like, so then we do a bit of digging, and it turns out we try to message Trish. Trish has just disappeared off the face of the earth. So it turns out Trish has been running this outsourcing business, like some sort of outsourceception, let's call it, where she'll be the front and just has this other team below her that she's paying like pennies to actually do the work while she's just laying back on a deck chair or doing whatever she does. So we start digging up some more, and like the photo of a sick family she sent us was on Google. The photo of the blown up house was a Google photo, so it turns out, our bad. But what was wild is we've even like met her and her husband several times. We went and had dinner with them. They picked us up from the airport. Wild. We had to cancel her access, reset all the passwords for the entire system because she had access to everything, block her on everything. And this other lady, who I'll call Bree, we're like, well, Bree, do you want to work for us? You already know our systems. So we just hired Bree at Trish's rate. She got a double pay rise. She already knew everything. We didn't have to train her. She was way more responsive because there wasn't another layer of management we didn't know about. And off we went. She was great. So I guess like This story isn't to put you off outsourcing. There are risks inherent in a business, in every business you do. And one of the risks we had is essentially identity fraud and deception because we're dealing with remote staff overseas. For me, the lesson wasn't don't outsource. The lesson was two things. One, there's this layer of risk we need to be prepared to tolerate and mitigate, which you can do things like check IDs, have video conferences, things like that. The second thing is to not have your business reliant on any one person. Because if that person gets sick, defrauds you, goes on holiday, God forbid dies, your whole business grinds to a halt. So the lesson in the end was we just put better systems in place for all of this stuff to mitigate that risk. Will it happen again? Maybe, but it's sort of like you're getting in a car and you go for a drive. You accept a risk that this car might crash at some point. So you just want to prepare yourself as best you can by wearing your seatbelt, driving a Tesla instead, not driving a Jimny that for some reason has a 3-star safety rating despite being made in 2021. Mitigating risks is what business is all about. So if you mitigate your risks and you're prepared to accept the unmitigated portion of the risk, then that's just part of the game and you can move on quickly when disaster does strike.